If you can manage to keep yourself healthy for the next 15 years, you might just live long enough to never die of old age. It sounds like science fiction, but it is a hard mathematical threshold currently being targeted by advanced biotechnology. It is a paradigm shift known as longevity escape velocity, the exact point where medical science begins repairing your body faster than time can destroy it. But how do we actually cross that finish line? To understand that, we have to look at the exact moment the human machine begins to fail. For the first 20 years of your life, the human body operates as a flawless masterpiece of self-repair. Every single day, millions of your cells suffer minor damage from the simple act of living, breathing, and processing food. But during youth, your body's internal maintenance systems are so aggressive that they completely erase this damage almost instantly. Nothing stays broken, and your body stays completely brand new. But this invulnerability doesn't hold forever, and the decline doesn't wait until middle age to show its face.
By your mid-20s, the first microscopic shifts begin. Perhaps you notice that recovering from a late night out takes a full day instead of a few hours.
Or that a minor muscle strain from a casual workout lingers for a week rather than vanishing overnight. By age 30, your body's baseline metabolism begins to slow, and the maximum rate at which your lungs can process oxygen drops by roughly 1% every year moving forward. Your cells are still highly functional, but the automated repair machinery is already starting to accumulate a slight backup. You aren't losing your vitality yet, but the regeneration power of your youth has officially drawn to a close. By age 40, that quiet, measurable backlog under the hood becomes impossible to ignore. The speed at which your cells accumulate damage has officially outpaced the speed at which your body can fix them. It isn't an overnight failure. It is a compounding accumulation of unrepaired biological debris. Your tissues lose a fraction of their elasticity, your recovery windows grow wider, and your organs operate with just a little less reserve capacity. By age 60, this backlog transitions into a profound systemic deficit. At this stage, the human body has lost roughly 30% of its peak muscular strength and cardiorespiratory reserve. On a cellular level, your bone density has diminished, and the immune system undergoes a structural decline known as immunosenescence. This shift leaves your body far more vulnerable to chronic inflammation and significantly slows recovery from basic infections. The underlying genetic errors that began accumulating decades prior are no longer localized. They have effectively altered the operational landscape of your entire biology. By age 80, this backlog reaches its ultimate tipping point. And crucially, this threshold arrives even for those who have spent their entire lives doing everything right. You can eat a pristine diet, exercise daily, and maintain excellent cardiovascular health, but those habits only slow down the secondary damage. They cannot stop the primary cellular clock. Behind the outward appearance of a healthy, active 80-year-old, the foundational repair systems have simply run out of steam. The infrastructure is ultimately overwhelmed by decades of accumulated, microscopic errors, leaving the entire biological network balanced on a razor's edge.
For the entirety of human history, modern medicine has acted only after the system breaks down, treating the symptoms of an old body, rather than fixing the mechanism that causes it to grow old.
But within the quiet, highly capitalized sectors of advanced biotechnology, a definitive threshold is approaching. It is a paradigm shift known as longevity escape velocity, or LEV. LEV is the exact point where biomedical engineering advances so rapidly that it begins actively clearing that cellular backlog, repairing the microdamage, and upgrading your body's biological systems faster than time can degrade them. It is the moment human ingenuity outpaces human obsolescence, turning aging from an inevitable fate into a manageable medical condition. To understand how we cross this threshold, we must understand the fundamental math of survival. If medical intervention can extend your life by just one healthy year, it creates a crucial window of opportunity. During those extra 12 months, the exponential curve of technology does not stand still. By the time your bonus year is up, a newer, superior generation of therapies will have emerged to patch the next layer of cellular decay. You escape old age permanently because scientific progress begins moving faster than your body can decline. To defeat biological aging, science had to stop viewing it as a vague, natural consequence of time and instead map it as a series of specific engineering failures. In 2013, a landmark scientific framework categorized these failures into the 9 hallmarks of aging. Think of your body like a computer running a giant, lifelong instruction manual, your DNA. When you're young, the computer reads and runs these clean and clear instructions perfectly without making any mistakes. But as you get older, invisible background radiation from the sun and everyday stress from using energy start scratching up the written instructions. Over decades, those tiny scratches pile up, making the instructions harder to read. That is one of the 9 hallmarks of aging, genomic instability. Eventually, the computer's instruction book gets so corrupted and full of typos that the instructions get scrambled into total nonsense, causing your cells to malfunction, break down, or stop working entirely. Simultaneously, your body hits a physical limitation known as telomere attrition, another one of the hallmarks of aging. Telomeres act as the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes, analogous to the plastic aglets on the tips of shoelaces. Each time a cell replicates to heal your tissue, these caps shorten. When they deplete entirely, the cell hits the Hayflick limit. It transforms into a toxic, senescent zombie cell. It can no longer divide, yet it refuses to die, actively poisoning the healthy cellular microenvironment around it. This triggers the third foundational failure, epigenetic alterations. Your DNA contains all the instructions needed to build and maintain every part of your body. Attached to this DNA is a chemical control system known as the epigenome, which acts like a series of molecular tags that turn specific genes on or off. During youth, these tags operate with precision. They keep the genes responsible for tissue repair, growth, and cellular health switched firmly on, while keeping genes that drive inflammation and damage turned off. Over decades, environmental stress, metabolic wear, and the aging process cause these molecular tags to misplace themselves. Tags that should keep your protective and healing genes active get jammed in the off position. Simultaneously, tags that control inflammatory pathways and cellular dysfunction get locked in the on position. The underlying genetic code remains completely intact, but because the chemical tags are misaligned, your cells continuously read and execute the wrong instructions. This structural decay is exactly what the mathematics of longevity escape velocity is engineered to outrun. A common point of confusion is the belief that achieving LEV requires a single, miraculous breakthrough that suddenly grants a human being a 500-year lifespan on day 1. In reality, the mechanics rely entirely on a compounding exponential pipeline. Under this model, your goal is not to buy immortality all at once. It is simply to buy enough time to reach the next horizon of discovery. If biomedical science can temporarily extend your life by just 1 healthy year, it grants you 12 more months of biological existence. Crucially, during that specific year, the technology itself does not stand still. Because medical technology scales exponentially, the breakthroughs achieved during your bonus year will yield an intervention capable of giving you yet another year, and then another. By the time your first extra 12 months are up, a new, superior generation of therapies will have emerged to patch the next layer of cellular decay. You escape precisely because the rate of scientific progress moves faster than your remaining lifespan can diminish. Each step forward pushes your personal biological deadline further into the future, creating an endless staircase of medical preservation. You survive long enough to receive the medical breakthroughs of tomorrow. This theoretical pipeline is currently being forged across 3 distinct, aggressively funded biotechnology sectors. The first panel represents cellular reprogramming via Yamanaka factors. By introducing a specific combination of 4 unique proteins, scientists have proven they can completely reset a cell's epigenetic markers back to an embryonic state, effectively rewinding its biological age to 0 while keeping its identity intact. In peer-reviewed trials, this technique has already successfully restored sight to aging primates and extended the absolute lifespan of complex organisms. The second vector leverages senolytic drugs to systematically hunt and eliminate the body's senescent zombie cells, instantly lifting the massive inflammatory burden off our tissues. The final and most powerful vector is AI-driven de novo protein design. Neural networks are now calculating molecular configurations in milliseconds that would take human researchers centuries to test, generating entirely synthetic enzymes explicitly engineered to clear the fundamental cellular debris of aging before it can manifest as disease. When these parallel technologies inevitably converge to cross the LEV threshold, the societal, economic, and existential architecture of human civilization will be completely upended. The linear narrative of human existence, education, a 30-year career, rapid retirement, and physical decline will intentionally become obsolete. The concept of a fixed retirement age will vanish, as a 90-year-old citizen will possess the pristine cognitive and physical output of a 25-year-old. The global economic engine will undergo a profound transformation, shifting entirely away from the trillion-dollar financial catastrophe of managing chronic, age-related illnesses and transitioning into a hyper-efficient system of permanent biological maintenance. For the entirety of human history, our greatest ambitions have been constrained by a hard biological expiration date. We have built civilizations, designed complex technologies, and dreamed of the stars, all while racing against an internal clock that inevitably runs out. Imagine how the world would have been had great minds like Einstein or Tesla lived up to 200 years. But as we stand on the threshold of longevity escape velocity, that restriction disappears. Consider the frontier we are currently stepping into: space exploration and interplanetary expansion. The vast distances between worlds, the generational timelines required to journey across star systems, and the immense horizons of the cosmos are fundamentally incompatible with an 80-year lifespan. Space demands time. By conquering aging, we unlock the endurance required for the stars. The very people who break the barrier of biological decay will have the decades and centuries needed to become a truly spacefaring species, turning the dream of exploring the universe from a brief, fleeting wish into a permanent, lived reality.